Hello, Floridians. I am CEO and host here at Florida News, C. Johnson, here today with, as you can see behind me, Business Affairs, which is a part of the Department of Commerce. I'm here today with the Director of the Department of Commerce, a quickly growing department with many businesses coming, and you can get yourself a business today within their server. I'm here today with Foxxy. So, Foxxy, welcome on.
Thank you.
Of course. And my first question to you, it's obviously about the Department of Commerce. What is the state of the Department of Commerce? What's going on inside, and what can we see coming up in the department?
Well, one of the main things that we've been seeing and complaining and hearing complaints about is the question of the day is not reading the results that we actually are getting. Um, I can assure you that the question of the day that we post every single day is helping us line up events one by one that we're playing in the future. Right now, we have something that's going on called an event block, basically meaning so the event called the Department of Commerce meeting on Saturday at 3 p.m. EST happens. We will not do any more events in preparation for that and its announcements. Some of the events that we'll be having is in relation the car meets and the scavenger hunts and the business awards night and many other things that we have lined up in the directorship. In regards to the staff team itself, we have some new plans for the staff team that are coming out to help the activity. The staff team goes 2 and 2 with the activity of the community and the mafias and businesses too. For instance, that the mafias are now inactive, which we know are inactive. We're making additions and proposing to DA to help them, and we'll be announcing at the Mafia Affairs meeting or the Department of Commerce meeting. That goes 2 and 2 with the Mafia Affairs activity as well. We plan to merge and remove that barrier between business and mafias into one, and basically make them one independent moving body called the Council of Commerce. Um, if it is approved, of course, which if I really hope it will be. But other than that, the state is that it's expanding. My view on the Department of Commerce is high, and I think that it has a lot of potential, as it always has been in the past 2 months that I've been running it.
That's great. And obviously bringing what do you see and hope from bringing the Department of Commerce or I mean the Council of Commerce with businesses and mafias? What do you see happening from that?
Well, issues with the current staff team is independent decision fueling corruption, meaning that having independent power make them believe that they are above people and above simple rules that make like obvious for good decision making and good planning for action. So they go above that and they take independent action that should never happen. And to prevent that, we are planning to make the council that votes on everything they do. Prevent it from one person to have corruption. And if you notice that they're having corruption by voting no constantly, it's something that will have no repercussions and we'll just remove them immediately. I see much higher activity with the council because they're dealing with everything just instead of the two things. Um, and also, I see a lot of activity and potential for the businesses as well. This council will be signing official business orders and basically business policies. The first business policy was signed just a few days ago by me. It's called the Business Policy 101, restricting amount of businesses you can be in and high copy you can be in. And many ones will come out like that. I know that I am one person and my decision making is not supreme, meaning that I need a council to make the decision for me and make sure that it's fair and represents the community.
Yes, and on screen now is the Business Policy 101. It reads, after long consideration and contemplation, the Department of Commerce has created and will be enforcing a new policy regarding the chain of command of businesses. As of today until the foreseeable future, it then goes on to say you are only allowed to be a part of 3 businesses and only permitted to be high command in 2. If you're wondering what high command is, business affairs team and I will be deciding that. We will be taking immediate action on this policy and there are no exceptions. Do not make a ticket asking to be excused from this policy. Owning a business makes you high command of it. This policy is created to prevent the control over businesses that one person has, and it will be very beneficial to the distribution of power. And as always, if you have any questions, DM me, Foxxy. Signed, Director Foxxy. And then it goes on to read at the end. This will be addressed to forever on as business policy 101. So, Foxy, hello. I'm Chief Executive Officer of Florida News, C. Johnson. We'll get back to our regular program, but first, let me tell you about what we're doing here. Our mission is to give news with 100% truth and no opinions added, and that's what we've done for a long time now. And you can join that effort by going to discord.gg/xv capital DF uppercase EEE uppercase T3. And you can apply there. You can also learn more information there. We'd love to have you as part of our recording crew. Thank you. So, Foxy, when you were making that, is your mindset on it, as said in the message, it's the distribution of power. Have you seen too much power by one person in businesses before, and that's why you're making this rule, or is it to prevent something potentially happening in the future?
No, it is 100% been noticed as one person having too much power or trying to obtain too much power in businesses that has shown some aggression while running a business. Um, that policy was made after that person tried to create a business, which would put them in officially 5 businesses and the high comma of 4, which was absolutely incredible to me, and I thought that should never be allowed. That means that they have a large control over passive role play, and if they were to get banned, they have a large control in the basically they have a larger control than the business affairs do on the state of businesses and the Department of Commerce entirely. Um, we're getting all business affairs right now to deploy and fix this issue. It's also to prevent more cases like that. We haven't had issues with the person yet in regards to abusing their power, or in regards to shutting down the business and stopping passive role play, but it is a possibility that is entirely possible, and we saw in the vision of the thing. And so that's our first business policy 101. Why did I choose 101? I didn't like 001, and I didn't like 100, and I didn't like anything in between, and I wanted it to start with a 1. So next one will be 102, 103, 104, and then we'll go 2, and then vice versa, on and on.
That's great. And is that person having to leave a business or leave high command of a business, or are they grandfathered in because they were already a part of that many businesses?
No, and they were not the only person that is violating this policy. Any single person will have to choose to get this down to the 3 businesses, 2 high comp policy. If they are unable to choose within a certain time frame, we will choose ourselves based on how much influence they actually have. We will remove them from the lowest influence spot, high com, and the lowest activity business that they are in to make the decision for them, which they most likely would already choose in the first place. They have a deadline, the business affairs team, to put the report. If this is not made, Amiri and I will be taking it into our own hands with the new creation of the console.
That's great. My next question is, what other problems are you guys facing in the Department of Commerce? Obviously, this being one of them, and that's why you took action against it. But what else is there you guys are facing?
Well, I think most of the problems that we're experiencing are getting combated quite well. One is mafia activity. Any DA member, you can ask them. We are trying to combat this as well as possible. I'm proposing things that have to run by DA first. Another one is corruption that we've seen in the past, or decisions that aren't fair and clearly should not have been made independently. That's being compatible with the Council of Commerce. Another one was what I just stated with too much power. That's being compatible with the Business Policy 101. Another one is inactivity in civilians in general and not enough to do in Department of Commerce, as we saw in the suggestions panel. That was done by making the community event section, question of the day, business of the week, mafia of the week, and many more events that will be happening in the future. We had a few more saying that the prices on the business properties are too high. We slashed them like by by 4 times. Another one is saying that the Mafia Robux price is too high. We are currently working to combat this right now with the Department of Administration. Hopefully, this will see it as an application rather than a game pass. We have had high public perception of this idea, and I'm working with the Department of Administration right now to get that pushed. Every problem that we see in the Department of Commerce, we are trying to combat. That does not mean petty problems that are specific to one basic interest. We are talking about ones that constantly bring down the Department of Commerce and remove it from its possible greatest department spot. We are trying everything in our power to get that working. I've stayed with this business for 2 months, um, and I've been working with every single subject of the department. There is not one thing you can point in the department that was there before I was director.
And then, with these mafias potentially becoming an application, how are you going to ensure that those mafias are all qualified and they will roleplay correctly instead of being rogue?
Sure. So, the best way to prevent this is making sure they know what is expected for them, in regards to what they're supposed to do. They are required to make a ticket first rather than actually buying the game pass first. Um, they are required to actually explain their mafia idea and see if we approve it, and also all of the policies that they have with their mafia to make sure that it's actually okay and will run by us. That is the first step. The second step would be necessarily what happens or after the mafia creation. We'll be closely watching them like a zero tolerance policy type of thing. The Council of Commerce or Mafia Affairs, depending on which one passes, will be closely monitoring them. Their every action. We'll be looking for every report. Um, as we know, when a new mafia is made, if there is no more Robux, we are going to be less lenient on the actual punishments, much, much less lenient. Meaning that you have no loss, there's no refund to be done, and it's just an application. We expect mafia activity to up, and I know there are some hidden gems out there that want to start a mafia that don't have enough Robux to buy one. Um, and so the application basically is supposed to give them an opportunity. If somebody we see is exploiting that privilege and making sure that it's unable to actually do anything about or like actually exploit it and do a proper mafia, then we will not remove the feature, but remove their mafia immediately.
Next up, what should people know about the Department of Commerce and what will make them want to join?
They should know. There's a few things they want to know depending on what path they want to take. If they want to take the staff path or an employee of the Department of Commerce, they should know that there's a big opportunity for groundbreaking decisions, and the economical standpoint, businesses and mafias, all of these that are affecting in-game role plays, no matter what department you're on. And you basically have direct influence of the server. Does that mean that you can make corrupt decisions? No. But does that mean that you have the power to change if you have that goal? Yes. In regards to anything else like role play, if you're looking for the passive role plays, running a coffee shop, running a towing business, running a medical business, anything in relation to that, then what you really need to do is start a business. You can purchase the property, start the business. There are no taxes. Wonderful. And you can just get the business running it, hire employees, run the role play. As someone that's owned the largest business in the past and is still running, or it is still the largest business, I can tell you it is a lot of fun. But some people aren't really into that. Then you go for the mafias. You go for the criminal role play. For the criminal role play, you're going to be doing mafias. Right now they are Robux, but they are hopefully going to be an application. Um, Basically, what you can find them is just doing criminal activities, arms deals, role plays with the mafias or with the cops, doing warrants and everything in relation that does something to do with criminal.
Okay, and Foxy, my final question to you is, what is your favorite part of the Department of Commerce? Whether it's something like being with other people and just like talking about businesses and stuff, or maybe it's something that's coming up and like you and the high command working on it.
I think my favorite part of the Department of Commerce is the infinite potential that it has. Um, right now, the only limitation that could ever stop the Department of Commerce or ever halt the Department of Commerce is that we aren't thinking of enough ideas. We have the one of the highest control of any department's server, basically as the or affecting the server than any other department. Every other department just acts in game and changes in game roleplay in the current server session, but we can change literally how the server works entirely. It is just up to the idea making, and right now we are using that potential to probably the fullest that we possibly can. Um, but we are always looking for new suggestions and ideas, and we always have a suggestions channel with the bot that I developed, just running /suggest. Um, the potential is something that just needs the right pickaxe to harvest it. And we've got one that's good, but you can never have a perfect one. And so we're trying to harness as much as possible, but there's always more to do.
That's amazing. I just want to thank you for your time, and I just want to come back on the what you were saying, and I felt that was so inspirational that you just need to think of ideas, and that can be applied to so many other uh, things, not just the Department of Commerce, but I mean, all related to the Department of Commerce, but creating your business, just think of another idea, and then you guys obviously thinking of ideas for events and all the question of the day polls and stuff like that. So I just want to thank you for your time, Foxy, and I want to thank all of our watchers for watching us because you're the reason we do it with 100% truth and no opinions on top. So thank you, Foxy, for being here.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you.